All right, welcome back. We are 13 days away from the NFL draft. Shedeur Sanders has certainly dominated the headlines, so we need some answers for which teams are the right match for him. So we have matchmaker Mike T to break it down. By the way, good-looking photo matchmaker Mike T.
It's about what they can do, nowadays.
I like it. That's a good picture. All right, so let's start in Cleveland. What would Shedeur Sanders be with the Browns, who, by the way, just signed Joe Flacco to one?
Right, he would be a top 12 quarterback. Let's go back 2 years ago. Kevin Stefanski had 4 different quarterbacks and went to the playoffs. Again, I said that he's a lot like Kirk Cousins. Good pocket passer. I think this offensive line will still be a top 12. David Njoku is a perfect match with Shedeur Sanders. They need to add a back, maybe another receiver. But I think this is a great fit, Brian.
What do you think, that?
I love agreeing with that handsome man in the photo right there. Kevin Stefanski is one of the best offensive coaches in football. He knows how to develop quarterbacks, use play action. That offensive line, as you said, is really good. It's aging roster, but he would still have success. I think it'd be a great fit for Shedeur.
Nick, what do you think? Shedeur to the Browns.
I think if someone is shocked and complimented how good you look in a photo, that is not a compliment. I also think that comparing Shedeur Sanders to Kirk Cousins, not really a huge compliment. Like, I get how Kirk Cousins is a legitimate starter in this league, but I think when people are drafting quarterbacks right now, they're hoping for a top-of-the-league type of guy, and saying that your ceiling is Kirk Cousins, I don't think is a great vote of confidence.
Oh, Dominic.
Can I ask an existential question? Like, would it be better for them not to compliment how I look?
You're right. Yeah, exactly. That's the way I take that.
Yeah, yes. If they're shocked by how handsome your picture is, that means that they think that it's surprising that you look good in that picture.
It's what he's put on tape.
Right, exactly. By the way, what was Shedeur Sanders with the Giants,
Look, Brian, I think he would be really average. We have talked about for years now, their offensive line has still struggled despite all the resources they put into it. We've talked about Shedeur does hold the ball, a lot of sacks. That's a bad combination. Outside of Malik Neighbors, I don't see another weapon that would really help Shedeur, and he needs some time to develop. I would love to see Shedeur get a little bit stronger in the lower body, and if he goes to the Giants, despite Russell Wilson, despite Jameis Winston, he would probably start right away. That would be a big concern.
Said he'd be average. What do you think about that?
I completely agree. I don't see a scenario in which everybody keeps their jobs next year. I think he would get into a situation where we're starting over next year. That is poison for a young quarterback. We've seen it time and time again, having different play callers. So for me, I would want to avoid New York at all costs. Figure something else out.
Well, Nick, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think average is wishful thinking. I feel like a broken record, but Shedeur is a very good quarterback in a good system. The idea that he has the ability to overcome all the challenges that he would have with the Giants, I think, is unrealistic. You're looking for a different type of player, a guy that kind of transcends all things around him, and I don't think anybody is arguing that Shedeur is that player. I think most people believe Shedeur could be great in the right situation, but I don't think anyone thinks Shedeur is a guy that you drop off in any situation and all of a sudden everything gets much better.
Okay, matchmaker Mike T. What would Shedeur Sanders be with the Steelers?
Right, now we're talking. We're going to the playoffs. Let's not bury the headlines. We got Mike Tomlin, a Hall of Fame coach. We have a young offensive line that I believe will improve. They're going to get Troy Fontenot back. Their defense is still, it's not elite, it's very good. And let's not forget about DK Metcalf and George Pickens. So, to me, he goes there. He's in an ideal situation. I don't think he screws it up. I think Mike Tomlin keeps winning a winning record, and they go to the playoffs. And to me, if they have Aaron Rodgers, he could sit. But if they get Shedeur and no Rodgers, I think they still go to the playoffs.
What do you think?
Way better of a prospect than Kenny Pickett a couple years ago. I think people were talking about, a guy slipping, maybe making those comparisons. No, he's much better. Arthur Smith, play action. He'll hang in there. He's tough. He's physical. I'm in on this match.
Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, I love this. This is the best one that I've heard so far. I think that they would bring Shedeur in a situation where they wouldn't be asking a whole lot of him. Obviously, the O-line in the running game has to get better, but we presume the defense is going to keep games close, and he's not going to turn the ball over and put them in bad situations. One of the challenges with Shedeur, though, is he is likely to take sacks. He's really great throwing the ball on the run, which also makes him prone to prolonged plays and take sacks. That would scare me about being in that situation, but everything else I like.
Shedeur Sanders was in Pittsburgh yesterday for a visit with the Steelers. Sanders spoke highly of the organization and, of course, the head coach, Mike Tomlin, in particular. Take a listen.
Just how he is as a person, and just the values that the team has, and what he preaches from his staff down is similar to like my dad.
Okay, if you were to give yourself like a grade on how it went, because it's kind of like a job interview, right? You want to make sure you like it, they like you. What grade would you give yourself?
It was a 10. It was a 10.
All right, so he says it was a 10. Neek, your thoughts here on what you heard him say and his ceiling, you think, with the Steelers?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Shedeur kind of exudes the type of confidence that you need from a quarterback in any situation, honestly. Like, I think I've harped a lot on some of him not having some of the big traits that you would need as far as athleticism and strong arm. But I do think from a personality standpoint, confidence standpoint, leadership standpoint, he has all of those traits. And I think it would fit in perfectly in Pittsburgh. And yeah, saying the interview goes well, like I think every interview I've ever participated in goes well. Like that's what you say. You don't come on and say, "Oh, interview was terrible. I couldn't get my sentences out straight." So I'm pretty sure Shedeur, no matter what, a guy with that level of confidence is telling you that the interview went well.
What did that tell you, though, that the Steelers brought him in?
Yeah.
Because you hadn't heard about the Steelers, going to any pro days and things of that nature.
I agree. First of all, Neek, be very careful about saying you never give him a bad interview. You've come on my show before, buddy. Okay, I understand. I know what's going on with you. But no, for me, it just shows me that they're serious about this. They're not going to play games. They did not send the brass to Boulder a couple of days ago for the pro day, but I think the market has changed. Maybe Shedeur Sanders is slipping to maybe the bottom half of the first round where they are, or a place where it's feasible for them to trade up. It could be either or. But for me, generally, this shows me they want some clarity at the quarterback position. Either it's Aaron Rodgers making him make a decision, or maybe pairing them. I don't know, Mike.
No, this is what I love about this time of year, guys. This is the world's biggest poker game. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are a well-run organization. And what you just said, Brian, to me is what's happening. They just have to be prepared. And I don't think he gets all the way to 21, and nor do I think Pittsburgh thinks that. I think what they're saying is if the price is reasonable, and to me that starts at 10. Again, with Chicago sitting there knowing that they have a lot of holes to fill, but they're not desperate. So to me, that's what's so intriguing about this discussion and what we're going to see 2 weeks from yesterday, which is a really good quarterback is going to be available. Presumably, once we get to 10, all these teams are going to try to get up, and what Pittsburgh's doing is appropriate. They're being prepared.
We always hear about the Steelers making the playoffs with Mike Tomlin, but this was also a past season where there was some controversy, like, whether or not Mike Tomlin's going to be there, whether they want to get rid of him. Is this a make or break draft, you think, first round for the Steelers?
Yeah, not necessarily, because, first of all, I think what good organizations do is they self-reflect. They went out and got DK Metcalf and said, hey, we need more point scoring. We need another explosive element. We got Pat Freiermuth. We have Pickens. So let's give them credit for that. And I think, Brian, I still think they signed Rodgers. I think it's rare for any owner, especially the Rooney family, which is sort of like beyond reproach, extremely conservative, for them to come out the league meeting and say, we think Aaron Rodgers is going to be here. That tells me what we need to know. So I don't think it's outcome determinative about this draft, but I do think they need better and more consistent quarterback play that they haven't had since Ben has left.
Neek, I'll give you a final word on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem has been with the quarterback play, and moving on from Mike Tomlin would suggest that you would think that he is the problem with the quarterback play. I'm not sure that anyone's come to that conclusion. While fans can get restless and we all can say it's been so long since he's won a playoff game, that's just not how I've known the Rooneys to operate. And I think they would try to focus in on what the problem was and address that, not get rid of the leader who's kind of overachieved up until this point. But crazier things have happened, so you never really know.
All right, we're going to pivot from the NFL to the NBA because coming up, man,
Chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn câu tượng. Tượng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là 24 giờ. Mọi người, hôm nay tượng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là phút chốc. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt đầu tô nhá. Đầu tiên là mình tô Pikachu. Màu cam nhé mọi người.